how do you make sure you buy the right home? Between the home itself, the all-important location, and all the limitations of your budget, there are a lot of variables to consider. This video is all about assessing your needs versus your wants so that you don't lose track of what's important to you when home searching, and so that you can dial in on purchasing the right home for you and your family. Stay tuned. What's going on, everybody? My name is Nick Fyffe and I'm a local realtor in Guelph, Ontario with Royal Realty. And today we're going to be talking about how to determine your needs versus your wants when searching for a new home so that you can narrow down your home search, avoid that emotional roller coaster, and save both time and energy in the process. But before we dive in, I want you to double check that you've subscribed to my YouTube channel and let me know in the comments below what other real estate content you want to learn about on this channel. All right, let's get into it. So you've decided to buy a home, and you've been an intelligent home buyer thus far. You've assessed your financial situation, you've budgeted for your down payment and closing costs, and you've been pre-qualified by your lender so that you know exactly how much you can afford in your home search. And you finally start actually searching for the house, only to find that you're overwhelmed by all the properties on the MLS. As overwhelming as searching for a new home can be, creating a simple checklist of your needs versus your wants can be an invaluable tool in your home buying process. Doing your homework on needs versus wants can help you save time because you won't bother looking at houses that don't fit or don't meet your budget. It can help you put your emotions aside to the best of your ability. It can help you get on the same page with your spouse or your purchasing partner. It can help you make the best decision when your budget inevitably meets reality. And of course, it can help you act quickly and confidently when you find the right house or when the right house finally comes along. So what's the difference between a need and a want? Well, think of needs as virtual deal breakers. Maybe you want a single family house and not a condo, period, or vice versa. Maybe you've chosen a particular community, end of story. Maybe you need 3 bedrooms for the kids you plan to have for the next 4 years. Who knows? These are essentials that would be impossible or very hard to change. So then what is a want? Well, wants are more optional to a varying degree. I would suggest subcategorizing your wants into subsections of big wants and small wants. So these are things that you want but you can live without or possibly add to your home later on. Maybe you crave a new appliance, but if an otherwise perfect house has some junky ones, you're still going to jump on it. On the other hand, a recently renovated kitchen could seal the deal if you're on the fence. Who knows? And then there's those things that you don't really care about. You know, they're not that important. These are things that are somewhat irrelevant to you based on your personal situation. For example, if you work at home, your commute time isn't part of your process, so you might consider living further away from the city. Or if you don't drive a car, then your parking situation is not going to be an issue. Now, you don't have to add these things to your list, but it's good to keep them in the back of your mind so that you can kind of factor those in when you're on your search. Keep in mind that when you're considering your needs versus your wants, it's important to remember that you have to stay within your purchase price range. And in order to do that, you might have to sacrifice some items on that want list. You should always consider your current lifestyle as well as any lifestyle changes you foresee in the future. You should always think long term. You should also choose neighborhoods in close proximity to amenities that are important to you, like schools, shopping, entertainment, recreation, and transportation. And from there, you can determine the size of the home you'll need and the property type that suits your lifestyle as well as your finances to determine your needs versus wants list. So how do you make a needs versus wants list? Well, the first thing you want to do is list all the desired features you want in your new home. These are features like the number of bedrooms, the number of bathrooms, maybe you want a backyard or a fireplace, or anything else really that you think you might want in your next home. The second thing you want to do is you want to separate the list into the must-have items or the needs, the things you really want to have, or those big wants, or the things that would be nice to have but you can maybe live without, or those small wants. And try to be honest and realistic with yourself. Remember that over time you can always improve your home to help it meet some of the wants on your list that you couldn't get the first time around. The next thing you want to do is use that separated list to narrow down your search and find properties that match as many of those desired qualities as possible. And then from there, what you want to do is explore different housing options to try and understand what features are more likely to be found together. If you want a big backyard, for example, you're probably going to want to stay away from condos and potentially some townhouses in your home search. And then finally, what you want to do is narrow down your selection criteria based on your findings until you find something that checks as many of your boxes as possible in a price range that you can afford. So as you work through your list, some questions you might consider are, what do you love and hate about where you live right now? If the layout of your current house is a huge pain for you, for example, think twice about settling for a home that has the same problems. Things like that can really shape your daily life. Other questions are, how long do you plan to live in your home? Needs are a moving target, and your first home probably won't be your last. One recent study actually showed that these days the typical buyer of a single family home stays in their house for about 9 years before moving on. But maybe you're planning on buying a small starter home to begin with, and in 5 years you want to trade up to something bigger when you maybe have some kids. So think short and long term when going through your list of needs and wants. Another question to ask yourself is, are your expectations realistic? You probably won't get everything you want in one house. Home buying is about compromise and trade-offs and being smart about how you make them. One way to work on your realism is to start visiting open houses well before you intend to buy in order to see what's actually out there. And lastly, if a home doesn't meet your needs as is, can you remodel it? Are you willing and able to add that must-have third bedroom or that second bathroom? And if you face this decision, make sure that building codes and bylaws won't preclude your plans. And get a realistic sense of what it might cost to actually remodel your home. Do you have the money? How long will it take to save up? One of the biggest surprises, especially for new homeowners, is how stupid expensive things can be when it comes to your house. Now keep in mind that no checklist can cover everything, but to make your home search more efficient and effective, it really helps to be clear about exactly what you're looking for and how important each of those features is overall. Determining your needs versus your wants is a critical step in the home buying process. By spending the time to understand what suits you best before you go out and actually look for a home, you'll save both time and energy, and you're far more likely to find the home that you really want much sooner than you planned.